the Bloomfield Township Planning Commission to order, the September 15th meeting. Of note, I just want to say that we have our Township Supervisor here today, Mike McCready. Thank you for coming. Just for anybody here that has not been to this before, someone who's seeing this recorded, just as a brief introduction, the Planning Commission is a seven-member body appointed by the Township Board of Trustees per the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. The Planning Commission is a recommending body only to the Board of Trustees, who has the final authority of approval in matters involving site plan review and land use development. So we have a quorum tonight, so we need 4 votes to approve anything. However, from here, it will go to the Board of Trustees. This is not the final say. This is advisory to the Board of Trustees. On tonight's agenda, we have 2 hearings. One is a site plan review for 1250 Kensington Road, Academy of the Sacred Heart. And then we have a site plan review for 4025 Telegraph Road, that's Jack's Car Wash. So with that, I just want to say, the first thing I said, we have attendance. We have 5 members here. So we have a quorum, so we can do business. We also need to approve the minutes of the August meeting, 18th meeting. We all had an opportunity to read it.
So moved.
Moved.
Support.
Moved and support. All those approved? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, very good. Now, the next section is for public comment. Anybody can come up and say whatever they want. What I'd like, though, is not comments on what's on the agenda, because that we'll have opportunity to talk about that. We get to those. If there's something other than that, this is the opportunity for that. So I don't see anybody jumping forward, so we'll just move on then. Okay, thanks. All right, and when we get to each item, you'll all have opportunity to say whatever you need to say. Okay, the first item, 1250 Kensington Road, the scoreboard and the shed at the Academy of Sacred Heart. Corey, are you going to do this, right?
All right, so this is the case that most of you are familiar with. I will still go over the details because there are some new members here tonight. So this is a request from Sacred Heart to add a scoreboard and shed to their existing property on the sports field on the south side of their property. This gives you an idea of where the property sits within our township. This is an aerial. You can see it is surrounded on nearly all sides by single-family residential. And then this is where it sits within our zoning map, which reflects the built environment. It is zoned single-family residential nearly everywhere. And then here is the actual proposed site plan. So on the top left, you can see the proposed scoreboard. The scoreboard, once the supports are factored in, will be 14 feet high, meeting our accessory structure limitations. It'll be 13.25 feet wide, and it'll be composed of steel and metal, as opposed to the shed, which will have a cedar finish and is designed to match the existing campus. In terms of where everything is located on the site plan, you can see the sports field very clearly there at the bottom right corner, kind of that angled direction there. That's where the proposed scoreboard is going to be located. And then there are proposed arborvitaes on the rear of it on all sides. The arborvitaes are proposed to be 14 feet tall at the time of planting. And similarly, the shed is proposed for the south side of the field at that 50-yard line. It is also proposed to be enclosed on the sides and south side with arborvitae up to 8 feet tall, covering that shed. But of course, with any recommendation you make, we recommend conditions stating that all accessory structures are completely shielded from view. Let's see. In terms of timing, So they're proposing to keep the existing timing for all games. There will be music played ahead of the game, but not after the game. And let's see, the scoreboard is able to get up to 130 decibels, but the applicant has clarified that they're not going to be using it at 130 decibels. They will be using it at the normal range. There is a knob on there that they can turn down. So let's see, here are some pictures from August 18th. Showing the field as it currently exists on that top left there. That's showing where the scoreboard is proposed to be eventually placed. And then, here, I guess we'll jump into this now. So there's been a few changes that have occurred since our last meeting. So I'm going to start with the motion that was made by the board, just to refresh everyone's memory. So the motion that was made was to postpone. It included a request that the township's PBO department review maintenance concerns raised by residents including building and landscaping conditions to ensure compliance with township ordinances. Furthermore, the Academy of the Sacred Heart shall meet with representatives from both neighboring homeowners associations to discuss concerns and work toward mutually agreeable resolutions. A summary of agreed upon items should be submitted to both the township and the Academy prior to further action. And so several things have been done in the intervening month. Staff did go out to the site. We did a walkthrough with the applicant where we did identify some of the trees that were dead per the comments from the neighbors. So we did document those, and those are what are photographed here. These are actually on the north side, I believe, of the tennis courts between Legacy Hills and the existing Sacred Heart. And so the applicant has gone ahead, reached out to someone about getting a quote to replace those trees. They are Norway spruces, and the applicant is proceeding with replacing those trees. In terms of other concerns that were raised, I already went over the sound system. That was one of the concerns. The board would have wanted more information on the sound system. It can get as loud as 130 decibels, however, it is adjustable. In terms of neighborhood engagement, the applicant has done extensive work reaching out to the neighbors. They met with Legacy Hills, the HOA to the north, and then they've done extensive communication with the property owners to the south. And the applicant will discuss in further detail his efforts there. And then lastly, in terms of department concerns, the environment or engineering team did have concerns about the site plan. I went over this last month, but I will repeat myself. There were concerns about the placement of the shed and the scoreboard because there is a 40-foot wide easement there for a sanitary sewer. That 40-foot easement is maintained, so there will be no shed, there will be no scoreboard within that setback, so environmental is satisfied. Fire department is satisfied, there were no concerns. And then this case did go forward to the design review board, who recommended approval. And so with that, staff recommendation is to forward recommendation of the application to the township board with a few conditions, one being providing evergreen landscaping, fully screening both structures from neighbor view, compliance with township departmental requirements, and obtaining ZBA approval for all accessory structures. The other thing I wanted to talk about was irrigation. That was one of the concerns that was raised by our landscape architect at the last meeting. The applicant did provide an irrigation plan. Staff did review and confirm it, so the entire area is sprinkled. And that's it for my presentation.
Okay, thanks. Any questions?
I have a couple.
Go ahead.
I see that they're regrading around the scoreboard, and I guess I don't remember seeing that last time. Is that something new, or that was there from beginning? It looks like there's 9 feet of grade change from the base to where the sign sits.
I guess that would be new to me.
I must have
That's
missed it
existing.
before,
That's an existing condition.
because it says regrade for scoreboard install, but it's not going to be regraded?
No, my guess is that this was a reuse of a previous site plan, but I'll let the applicant speak to that.
I see, okay. Thank you.
Sorry, could you repeat that question on that?
The question was, the note says regrade for scoreboard install on your plan.
Right.
And I didn't notice, if it was there, I didn't pay attention last time, and there's about a 9-foot grade change. It looks like the top of the hill is 848 and it starts at 839, so that was it.
Yeah.
So is that existing?
That was on the previous plan to submit for the regrading, to bring that level up.
Okay, but.
That was submitted in the previous
Right,
site
but
plan.
is it gonna need to be regraded, or is that an old note from something that was graded like that already
We're
before?
gonna need to bring some dirt in.
Okay. So the elevation that the sign is mounted on, and that the trees, because the trees are mounted at the same elevation, that's all?
Yes, the scoreboard and the trees will be mounted and planted at the proper elevation to reach the peak at the 14 feet.
Okay. And Corey mentioned that the scoreboard goes up to 135 decibels, but it's adjustable.
It's
So
adjustable.
do we know what it's necessary to achieve the goals of the people being able to hear?
I would have to, we currently play music and sound, and we met with the neighbors last week and assured them that we don't want to overdo this sound in any way, shape, or form. So we would be adjusting it within ordinance and with the decibel level that would be appropriate for the sporting event.
Actually, we.
So no more than 70 decibels.
That's our ordinance at the property line, right?
70 decibels.
All right, thank you.
We'll ensure that, yep.
While you're there, I have a couple.
Sure.
Follows up, actually, some of what you just talked about. First of all, the decibel level. Okay, it can go up high, but you say someone's going to adjust it out. That means that someone has to do that.
Correct.
Can you instruct, when it's installed, can they install something in it so that it cannot go beyond the 70 decibels? In other words, it's not up to somebody on site.
Right.
It means you just can't. It's
I
just,
can
that's
ask-
it.
I can ask that question.
Okay,
If we
because-
can put like a governor type situation on it.
Exactly. You know, I live near Brother Rice.
Right.
Not that far. Well, it's far enough. But when they have games and they have music, I mean, we hear it. It's loud. And sure, the ordinance says 70, but you know, someone's got to do it. But if it's
Agreed.
built in, you
Yeah.
can't make it go higher. Then it's controlled.
Right.
Okay, thanks. The other thing, I have one or two other things. The field, you touched on it. How far down is the field at that point from where the road goes in between the field and the school or the tennis courts?
How far
How
down?
what is the depth? Do you know?
There is a hill on the other side if you're going towards the school.
Right. It goes up from there, the field. It comes. I was there today, and it
Yeah.
comes up to the road.
I don't know
Go
what
through,
the.
and then there's the tennis courts and the other things.
Right,
Over
right.
and over. But it goes down quite a bit.
Correct.
And I'm curious to know if if you don't.
Yeah, I don't
How
know.
deep that is, because that mitigates the height above the road that can be seen on the other side. For
That-
instance, if it goes down 8 feet, it looks like it goes down about 6 or 8 feet.
It goes down a great deal.
Right. That means if it's 14, it's only 6 feet higher than the rest of the, the property
Yeah, the property.
going toward Legacy Hills and toward, all that. I don't know the answer to that. I'm just curious if you know.
I don't know off the top of my head the height of that. It is a significant amount of
Okay,
height.
so you couple that with the fact that the picture shows legs, tall legs, looks like about, I don't know, not quite half maybe of the height, something a little less than half of the height, those legs, maybe it's a third of the height. Okay, what would happen if those legs were shortened so that it brought the thing down? I mean, it comes down to the level of people that are looking at that are observing that from the stands. Certainly they can see it even if it's at ground level, because it's a flat, straight across. So if those legs were shortened, would that help to mitigate the sight going across there? Or can it not be? Or is it impractical? I don't know, I'm asking.
Yeah. I would have to consider that because part of that height is so that the people who might be standing above on the top could see it as well. I would also say that when I met with the neighbors at the north, they were not concerned about the scoreboard itself or the visibility of that. We spoke at great length about the landscaping around by the tennis courts and some of the efforts that we're in partnership there. So in that respect, I don't know if that would impact the north
Okay.
in a positive or negative
We
way,
may have
especially.
talked about this last time. I was not at that meeting last time, so it may be redundant that I'm asking this question.
No, that's
but
all right.
I'd like to, okay, all right. All right, thank you. Any other questions, anybody? Okay, well, now it's your turn, and you've answered questions, but you certainly can present.
Yeah, so I'm Jay Mike Courage, I'm the Director of Operations over at the Academy. I'm going into my second year, so I started a year ago, more or less 2 weeks back. So I thank you guys and the board for the consideration of the scoreboard and the project. I thank our neighbors as well for the conversations and the partnership around trying to come up with some reasonable solutions around some of the disagreements or some of the concerns. The North Side property members and I met with Paige about 2 weeks ago after Corey and his team came out, and we discussed in partnership and good positive dialogue around some of the areas of the landscaping around the tennis courts, which were the primary concerns that those neighbors brought up. I did reference back to the meeting notes. Some of the issues that they raised were also around mechanical issues, around the HVAC noise, and some of those components. We spoke about that. We were able to identify and look up at the top of the roof from afar to see that there is proper screening for our RTU units, as well as discuss our boiler maintenance program that we're in partnership with D. Kramer, with a continued pledge to upgrade, modify as we can and when those systems fail. One in particular failed in December of the previous year. And that was an RTU unit that we replaced in January, or in the spring, or the Christmas break between December and January. So I was able to explain and talk with them about those components. We also, like I said, identified some of the trees, in particular around the tennis courts, that were in fact and are in fact dead. We are acquiring, or have acquired a quote, and will be proceeding forward as those are part of a site plan that has been previously approved in terms of the ordinance. We also agreed, and they pointed out, very grateful for us, that one of the sprinkler lines has been completely cut, and that was unknown to me, unknown to our team. That water line was completely cut. They're like, did you guys see this? Let's take a look. So we walked that property line, and we have a partnership a plan to partner and do more of that work together, so as to help identify either some other troubled areas or not. They actually offered to have their side, Legacy Hills, potentially take over that zone of sprinkler. They reached out to their landscaping company to see if it could even tolerate, if their system could tolerate that extra load or not, as we navigate through this. So we are working in partnership around those components. Last Friday, I met with the south side neighbors. We discussed at length the screening, the location of the screening. They raised some areas of concern around where the actual screening is going to take place, as opposed to if it could extend to some other areas that might be more impactful from their property line. I thought that was a pretty healthy and positive conversation. I got the sense that they supported Sacred Heart, that they supported our work and our effort, and I recognize that they have concerns about the location of the area close to their property line. It's our intention to help mitigate any of that visual impact that could be potential on their property line. And to that effect, there's been email communication throughout the weekend as well, with us going back and me reaching back out after an initial secondary email and saying, how about I come out to your property and look with my own eyes as to what the impact would be, so that we can collaboratively address what the proper location of some of these trees could be. The homeowner wasn't able to do it today, and we're hopeful that we can find a time on Friday to do some of that work.
Well,
You have any questions?
No, just a comment. I think reaching out and trying to resolve or let's improve or get the neighbors to concur with the effort put forth here to put that object in the right place and the right time with the right screening, I think it's commendable.
Absolutely, and I know that there were a number of issues that were brought up at the last meeting, and obviously you listened to them and you met with them even more, and it just certainly you're being a very good neighbor to your neighbors, and working together with them to make sure that it's the best situation possible and improving the site. And it certainly sounds like your neighbors are very supportive of Sacred Heart, and moving forward, just continuing to work together, I think will only strengthen that the partnership between all of you. So it's definitely commend you and the neighbors for working so well together.
I appreciate that, and I recognize that there might be some other areas that we have to modify and adjust given locations of trees and whatnot, and we're definitely open to that dialogue and discourse as we go through the planning process.
Okay, now we'll open up the public hearing. If you have something to say, come to the microphone, name and address.
Can I stand here and look and point?
Well, you might have to
need
put
the
your name and
microphone.
address in there, and then you can, yes, because it's got to be recorded. And just so you know, everybody gets 3 minutes.
This is Tom Spagnola, 4365 Charing Way. You can throw up the landscaping. We did meet, and we did have a good meeting. In the meeting, I asked about the coverage, and he pointed to the township and the landscaping people. I don't understand. If I have landscaping, I have a say in what and where I want things. This shows 4 abrevieties. If I'm a landscaper, I'm going to put in 4 abrevieties, and I agree that we do more. Are you going to adjust the drawing so it covers it completely? That's my concern, the landscaping. I meant to come out and see you and talk to you about it, but I couldn't get out here. So We are supportive of Sacred Heart. I've been there for 22 years. Known the nuns, been friends for a long time. I'm concerned, I would like a governor on that, because kids are kids, or whatever, they'll turn it up. If you do that and you cover it, I agree with you guys. I would like to have it in the center of the field, but the problem is then the scoreboard's got to go a little higher. Then he said that the township said you got to have trees to cover from the street, which is Squirrel Road, which is 150 feet, 150 yards away. I'm 45 yards away. And that's my concern. And the noise, and like we jokingly said, girls would be girls. I think the girls can scream louder than 70 decibels. So it is what it is. I think they're a great school. They're developing good friends. I just want them to protect us, that's all. My property value, I don't want someone coming in and saying, I don't want it. And the only reason, you're more than welcome to my house anytime you want, but you're not gonna see anything because the leaves are up. As long as the leaves are up, you barely see it. It's spring, winter, and fall. That's the problem. So the arborvitae's, if you put enough, in the one area you said where they're adding dirt, you have to, because it really drops off. You have to bring it out, and then there's a sewer there, so you gotta watch the water flow, which goes to the pond there. And I think they covered that. I think that was done very well. That's my concern, that's all. I don't wanna leave it to chance that the landscapers are gonna think of me when they're doing it, but that's why I come to you to make sure the landscaping, the design is set to what we agreed would happen.
Thank you. You know what, I'm going to have him answer your question, but after we have the hearing, then he'll answer questions, and I'm taking notes of that, okay? Thank you very much.
That's it.
I guess that's it. All right, I'm going to close the hearing, right? Okay, close the hearing. Stop the stopwatch. Okay. All right, so now, answer, if you would. He asked a question about the landscaping. Yeah, please.
I think that is, if I'm thinking about the timeline of the project, and I'm looking outside and the leaves about to fall, I think we're gonna have a window of opportunity coming up pretty close, pretty soon, to be able to see from your property line, I'm not supposed to address you, from the gentleman's property line, to be able to really assess in a good way locationally, and if we need to, like I said, add trees to that. That is, our intention is to be good neighbors, and our intention is to be in alignment with the ordinance. And I think we'll have an opportunity with the leaves falling real soon to be able to better assess the physical location of said trees in that area.
And if I may add, that's why staff's recommendation is that as one of the conditions of approval, instead of just accepting the plan as is, you actually state that the structures must be fully screened. That gives us the ability after the fact, if we find that it's not, to require them to add more trees.
I think that answers pretty much.
Can I ask a question onto that? Just a clarifying question. Let's say that we get in there and we plant the trees, but we, as the Academy of the Sacred Heart, say, oh, wait, this doesn't cover it. We're going to add one more. We're going to add two more. Would that motion remove the need to come back and do a whole nother site plan and a whole nother approval?
Correct. You would just have to plant them to make sure they're screened in order to get your final,
And
from my
then,
understanding.
Yeah, and let's also be reminded that these have to go to these structures. They still have to go to the zoning board of appeals because they're accessory structures. So I'm sure as typically as part of the approval for any accessory structures, the same condition applies. So if we have a recommendation from two boards and bodies stating that they need to be screened from public view, that is something that our department would go out and field verify to ensure that that condition has been met prior to any finalization of any permits.
Thank you. I just hope, yeah, and I like what you said about you'll continue to work with this gentleman or anybody else to make sure it's done properly. So I think that's great. I think you've done an admirable job here.
thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, back to the commission, no, we're done with the public hearing, so.
So I'm
Back
ready to
here.
make a motion unless there's any discussion on the board.
Any discussion? Any
I'll
questions?
second it.
No, I have to make a
Well, he's got to make the motion first.
Okay, make a motion that we move this on to the board, subject to, of course, the structures, accessory structures being reviewed by the zoning board of appeals, that screening, all structures should be fully screened, and, which, of course, is the shed, the scoreboard, and certainly to the satisfaction of the surrounding neighbors and to the township administration, board, to the planning board, and of course, compliance with all department requirements.
All right, there's a motion on the table.
I just have a question,
What?
just so,
There's a motion, let's see, get a second, then we have questions.
I will.
You want to support it, okay.
Motion,
All
I'll
right.
support that.
Questions, comments on the motion?
so, just so that it has some kind of ending point, when you say to be screened, that's from the neighbors and from the public view, right? That's,
Right.
we need to say that so that somebody can say, oh, I can still see it over there. I mean, so it's screened from neighbors,
Surrounding neighbors.
surrounding neighbors and
Surrounding
the public right away, I guess.
Yeah, and then also, let me just add that the volume be regulated in such a way so that it's restricted beyond, no higher than what, 70?
Or in compliance with our noise ordinance.
What, okay,
Yeah.
in compliance with our noise ordinance.
No, I was going to ask, following that up, if it's possible to put in the motion that every effort be made to put a governor on it so that it can't go higher.
I just said that.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
It's going to be with our sound ordinance.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Great.
Okay.
All right, so it's a motion, been seconded. Any other discussion on the motion? Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Great.
Okay.
Moving on. Thank you.
Except
Oh,
the
he's
applicant
gone.
doesn't know
Okay.
that we
That was
just
fast.
approved him.
They knew it.
Thank you.
The applicant doesn't know that we approved him.
Yeah, well,
He knows.
They're outside looking right now.
They're working on it.
all right, next item is the Jack's Car Wash at 425 Telegraph Road.
Good
Okay,
evening.
and, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Corey, and I do want to say that I do commend very much the efforts that Sacred Heart and Corey worked very diligently, and so they were very responsive, so I'm glad that we've come out to a positive resolution. That being said, I have another proposal that I'll be presenting this evening. Is there any?
Yeah, but,
Thank you, sir.
Good job.
was a.
Thank you. So what we have before you this evening is actually it's a change of ownership of an existing car wash, which we are all very familiar with, as it's very close to us here at Township Hall. It's located at the corner of Long Lake and Telegraph on the northeast corner, as it's been commonly known as Bloomfield Car Wash. We received a request regarding a changing over of ownership and use of the existing car wash. The applicant is proposing to convert the existing long-standing auto wash at 4025 Telegraph Road to a Jack's Car Wash. The parcel itself There's no changes to the existing building footprint. Site modifications include the removal of existing vacuum cleaners that have currently been located on the exterior of the building. Those are being removed. And that allows to make additional room for two pay stations that the applicant is seeking to install along the south elevation of the property. Removing the outdoor vacuums actually brings this more in compliance with our ordinance, as our ordinance requires that all operations for a car wash occur on the inside, as we're familiar with a recent proposal that we had, 2 recent proposals. So this is actually our 3rd car wash, but this is actually just a reuse to be a new Jack's Car Wash. Again, they are going to be providing 2 pay station islands with canopies. Here is an elevation of the proposed canopy. One of them has actually already been installed prior to this process, so it is there currently now, but they will be side by side. The applicant has provided as part of the review, we did ask that the applicant did provide us with some traffic data as related to another site that's very similar in terms of traffic and location, and they chose a site located close by here. I believe it was Woodward Avenue was the site that was used. As part of that, they did provide a circulation pattern, as I stated. Most of us are familiar with this. And as part of this review, it is of our opinion that the addition of the pay stations lends itself to a little bit more of a cleaner flow in traffic management. As part of the traffic study and review, it revealed that they do have a peak hour of operation that was identified, and that is about around noon time, and the maximum peak is about 41 cars within that hour. The applicant has provided, there is enough stacking on site to provide a total of 15 cars. And then also the actual process of them going through the car wash takes place. It only takes about 3 to 4 minutes for every vehicle to be processed through the actual car wash. A recommendation out of that traffic study would be that, as the applicant has stated, that they will have employees on site. Our recommendation from our traffic engineer would be, if there were an instance where the queue line, or if there was starting to become an impact to Telegraph Road, that those traffic managers or the people that are on site would then they are directed to guide traffic beyond the car wash and to keep going, as opposed to turning into the car wash and creating a queue line problem. It is one of those situations where we do have existing nonconformities on site, but of course we want to, this is an opportunity to improve a site that is very landlocked. There isn't exactly a whole lot of maneuvering, so they have provided the proposal before you to help address their operations, and they have noted that this will kind of be a Jack's Express car wash. It's not going to provide the same level, the same services, not level, but same services that other sites are providing. This is essentially them just taking over in a reuse. As part of this proposal also, they are doing some minor modifications where they're changing out some glass along the southern elevation, and they are improving the overall, just doing some site improvements. And they will be seeking to reface the existing ground sign. They did just install a new ground sign and monument base at that location not too long ago. The intention would be for them to come forward and reface that, and that would be something that could be reviewed and approved by the design review board, because it would just be a reface. With that, we're asking the board to consider under what conditions you would forward on a positive recommendation to the Township Board for consideration of the site plan. The hours of operation have been provided within your packet. They are seeking to operate within the within the allowable hours of operation, not seeking any extension beyond the 7 a.m., 9 p.m. Cutoff to make, and this did go before the design review board. It was approved and forwarded on with a 3-0 recommendation that this would have to be considered, the following considerations were forwarded on, which is that compliance with the requirements of the township's departments. Again, this was reviewed by our environmental engineering services, noting that there's no extensions to public water or sanitary sewer. They've recommended approval. Fire department has no comments at this time. Again, this is a site that they're used to accessing. It's not necessarily changing the configuration. This is an existing condition. And they're also not proposing any additional landscaping. For us that are familiar with the property, there really is not any place to locate landscaping due to the configuration of the existing layout. Again, minimal cosmetic work is proposed. Equipment will be updated to modern standards. The facade will be improved with new metal coping, new tile, and new metal panels. Integrated LED lighting at the pay station is directed downward, and as I stated earlier, the signage would have to go back before the design review board. So we would ask that there would be compliance with the requirements noted by the township department, compliance with the requirements township's landscape architect, which I'm sorry, that should not be in here. I apologize for that. It should be compliance with the requirements of the township departments, and then seeking any necessary variances before the zoning board of appeals. If it relates to any signage, that if they decide to do 2 signs, they would have to go to the zoning board for that.
Okay.
With that, I'm happy to answer any questions. I know that we have the applicant here as well, who's very excited and enthusiastic about the proposal. Yes, Mr. Selleck.
Did I misunderstand you? I think I did. Did you say that if they get too many customers, that someone from their company's going to go out and
Chase
tell the
them away.
customer to leave?
The recommendation from our traffic engineer as a means to help mitigate any backing up on Telegraph Road, that would just be a directive that the staff would have to continue. If somebody was trying to pull in and the queue was starting to back up, that they would have to be continued to go on. We don't want there to be any traffic backing up into Telegraph Road. That's worst case scenario. We don't anticipate that occurring, but that was a recommendation from our traffic engineer.
Good evening, Board. My name is
Excuse
Frank.
me,
I think there's
Just one second, hold on.
I'm not done. I think that's a pipe dream. I don't see that, and I love Jack's Car Wash. I'm not trying to hurt anything, but that sounds absolutely ridiculous. That someone in the middle of the winter, one of their employees is going to be stationed outside.
They are
or
located there,
someone's
yeah.
looking
We can talk about
outside
that.
to see.
Sure.
There's got to be a different resolution for that than that.
Well, part of it is based on their operational plan, which they do have somebody that would be standing at the end of the car wash, drying off the vehicles. So that person, there would be a person stationed there. But I
Okay.
understand.
Yeah, all right. I wish you the best of luck on that. Okay,
All right, any other,
I don't think there's an
I
answer.
just have one question for Andrea.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the facade changes and the colors and the materials, was that already presented to the design review board? The
Correct, yes.
facade changes? 'Cause
Correct, yes.
I don't see
It's just, do
anything.
you want to explain the facade change? Or, I'm sorry, you're asking me the question. I'm not sure if you're ready
Asking
for Frank.
just to, I didn't see them, so as long as the design review board had samples or colors or whatever.
Can
That's
I
all.
answer now, or?
yeah, sure, go
I
ahead,
just
go
wanna
ahead,
make
of
sure.
course.
Good evening, Board. My name is Frank Toma. I'm an exclusive Jack's developer. So I used to own Cleanview Auto Wash way east from here, and I sold my company to Jack's, so now I do all their development and construction. To answer your question, I believe there is details in the materials with the elevations. We did not provide it in color, but we did provide pictures of other sites that it's going to be comparable to.
Yeah, it's the yellow and
I didn't see them.
So I'm not sure if those were shown on
It's
there.
within the packet.
It's in the packet.
Yeah, it's in the packet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we would do a lighter, it's like a grayish beigeish tile. That's what we're doing at all our sites now. And then for our elevations, typically we have a blue band around the building, similar to what's there now. But we would get rid of the old style block windows, and they would be just straight windows. So
glass block is gonna go?
pretty much, yeah. And it's gonna get replaced with normal glass, so it'll be see-through.
And the metal, I think there's a metal roof or mansard. Is that going to stay
That metal roof will remain the same.
in the same
and-
color, or are you going to paint it?
It's gonna be the same color. We're probably going to repaint it, it'll be fresh. And then, on the other side, which is the north side, we'll be doing tile there. On the south side, there'll be a blue band, or it may be silver or gray, because the roof will be blue. Typically, our roofs are flat, but we have a few sites that have the triangle roof. As I said, we did provide pictures from other sites that are similar to what it's gonna look like.
If colored elevations are something that's important to the board, we certainly can secure that and have it presented to the township board, if that would make you feel a little more comfortable.
Design review had them. Excuse me. I also kind of remember, I think it's this car wash that the glass blockhead radiuses. So.
Yeah, so.
Are you
so the
going to
ra-
angle the glass in and out?
No,
or just make it straight?
our engineer checked for the footing. It is a straight footing, it's just a bigger footing. So, they're going to be straight, and the footing will support it. And, yeah, so it's just gonna be see-through glass.
Maybe the curves look good at the time, but maybe they need to be
Yeah.
cleaned up now, so that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Richie, anything else?
Richie, is that it?
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
see
okay.
that
Okay.
before.
This is more of an operational question, I think.
Sure.
So as far as, I'm familiar with Jack's, so are they're going to have one or two people out front
Yeah,
drying?
we're gonna have two people drying off.
Okay.
It's a 10-second dry, though, as you know.
And then as far as any other employees besides those two?
There'll be employees in the front, so one person will be helping at the pay stations.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah,
question and my
and then there'll be
concern because.
one person pulling people in,
Okay.
so,
I just want to make sure that, in fact, that was going to be similar as your other operations because, as you're well aware, sometimes the readers don't read.
Yes.
And, which causes traffic to back up.
Yeah.
And as long as there's somebody there who could take care of it, that will mitigate that concern.
yeah, there'll be employees throughout the property, and the only real difference will be here is we're not doing any interior work, right? So it's just an express exterior, and there will be no vacuums.
I understand.
We figured, the vacuums are just gonna clog things up, and, since Jack's is gonna be at 60 locations in Michigan by the end of the year, if someone wants to use the vacuums, they can,
Yeah.
utilize our other sites.
Yeah, I'm not even concerned about that. I understand that. I think it's a good idea to remove the vacuums, both for volume of keeping cars, so you can move the cars along. But again, I just wanted to make sure, because as I said, and the readers don't work too often. It's an issue. The readers don't read.
The scanner?
Yeah, for people who have the monthly subscription.
Personalized plates, it's
Yes.
difficult.
Yes,
You guys have issues with that?
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, I'll bring it up to our operation guys, but we're supposed to be in the 92 or 93 percentile.
It's lower.
So,
I mean, that's a good,
that's what our data shows.
Okay,
But
It doesn't read Q's and O's, and it gets confused.
sometimes, yeah.
okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I do just want to make a note of something I did not mention, is that a few years ago, there was a lot split that occurred between this property and the gas station immediately to the north. So I just want to make a comment that as part of that lot split, there was a agreement that the parking for employees for the car wash are accommodated on that gas station site. So I just want to clarify that there are 2 spaces provided for their employees that is part of that agreement with the gas station. So I want to clarify, because I didn't mention parking, and there really is no places we know to park on that site. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Then now you can say whatever you want, you can present whatever you want now. You answered the question,
Yeah,
thank you, but now it's your turn.
as you know, Jack's is a Michigan company, been around for 70-plus years. And as I stated earlier, we're going to be at 60-plus locations in Michigan. So we're really excited to be in Bloomfield Township. And, that's one of the cities that we're not in currently. And I truly believe that the city needs, a good car wash. And if you're a member at the other Jax's, you can wash here as well. So, I hope, we bring our services to the city, and, you know, we're gonna make the best we can out of the property, as Andrea said, that, you know, she did a great job presenting this, that this is very landlocked, and there's not much you can do with it, and, you know, ownership that owns it now, you know, have owned it for a long time, and, you know, it's an old man that's probably I think he's probably 80 now, and, you know, he's not gonna put much money in it.
Hey, careful.
Yeah, Tim, who owns it. I don't know if you guys know Tim.
Isn't it still the Mylan family or no?
Milan family is still involved in Jack's,
Right.
but I'm referring to this specific car wash, the owner.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Bruce Milan is still, he sits on the board.
Right.
And he's still a big shareholder of the company,
Friends with them.
so. Any other questions?
No? Okay, well, then, I don't see anybody else here. Let's open up the public hearing. Anybody would like to say? I'll close it.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. Okay, back to the board.
I'm ready to make a motion, unless someone else is.
I like your motions.
Okay. Make a motion.
You're the motion guy.
No, yeah. Like to make a motion with positive recommendation to the township board that regarding this proposal, subject to compliance with department requirements, and if,
Scratch number 2.
pardon me?
Scratch number 2.
Scratch number 2, I got that one out, and then you had mentioned possibly with the ZBA, if necessary, if they
Correct.
want a second sign.
Correct.
Okay, so just say a second sign, it would have to go to the ZBA for review if that is something that you're interested in.
Okay, is a motion?
So there, I'll second that.
Okay. You seconded it. You said it first. Richie seconded it first. All right. So no moved and seconded. Any discussion on the
Can we get
motion?
a discount?
Okay, all those in favor?
I just-
Okay,
I
go
have a
ahead.
question.
Yeah.
I don't want to beat this thing to death here, but what happens, we approve this thing and they open up, I wish them all the luck in the world. What happens if it really starts being a traffic issue?
Doesn't that become a traffic issue for our police department then?
That's absolutely correct, and we vetted this out very carefully on some other site plans, specifically the CVS at Woodward and Square Lake, which is ultimately, we would, because they want their business to be successful, the expectation is they manage their site accordingly. If there becomes a traffic issue or a backup issue or something that spins off from that, then we're into a roadway and that becomes a police matter. I have to say, in the 13 years I've been here, and although I've heard stories and I know this is a change, I have never seen a backup for the car wash specifically. There's sometimes backups from Long Lake south related to the turning onto Long Lake.
We have more of a concern with Starbucks and traffic backing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, so we feel that at a peak rate of 41, at their very peak hour of 41 cars within 1 hour, and they're able to stack up to 15 with 3 to 4 minute cleaning time, we feel, and again, Mr., you may want to speak to your other experiences with traffic in some of your other locations.
Yeah, I mean, this location compared to some of our other locations is not, it's not as tight, right? Because some of these car washes that were built in the 70s and the 80s, they never accounted for vacuums. With removing the vacuums, it's really going to smooth things quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and we have traffic studies that show that we provided to the township, that compares to, you know, Woodward is as busy as Telegraph. And we felt like that was the closest, you know, car wash to this one. But if we need to provide others, you know.
Have you had any issues?
No. No, I mean, we have vacuums at that site as well. So vacuums slow things down.
Maple and Woodward?
Yes.
And Telegraph and.
We do interior there as well, so.
Yeah.
Telegraph and 12 is full, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
it doesn't back up there, though.
No,
No, it
But
does.
when people are vacuuming, you're right, it's more time that they're spending on the site.
Yeah.
The hope for this is obviously based on the 2 lanes, the pay stations, the traffic analysis, that it should, the anticipation and good property management,
Yep.
that this should
Yeah.
work.
And, you
in
know,
retrospect, the maple in Woodward is, you know, is kind of, it's not, it's sort of on Woodward, but you enter, and
It's a
I've been
tougher
there
site-
several times.
It's a
and
tougher
never-
site than this one.
Never been, right,
Yeah,
this
it
one
is.
is an issue
You're in
there.
and out. It's just a
Right.
perfect flow.
That is a tough site, and they're doing full.
Yeah.
It's
full
fine.
clean.
So that's
I
what we
agree.
use for our comparison for
Yeah, I
traffic.
feel better about
Yeah.
that now.
No, and we've been operators for 70-plus years, too, so,
Yeah.
you know, we're really making a substantial investment here. And, you know, hopefully it's going to work. So, thank you.
We have a motion and it's been seconded.
Yeah.
And so if there's any other discussion on the motion, that's the next step.
Nope.
No, okay, so then call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, thanks.
Good luck.
Good luck.
When do
Thank you
hope
very
to-
much.
When do you hope to start to work on it?
You didn't answer. I didn't hear you.
When do you hope to open it up as a Jack's?
I'm sorry?
When do you hope to open the car wash up as a Jack's?
It's probably going to take us 60 to 90 days
Okay,
to renovate. Once we take over, we'll close down and we'll do the interior.
so by the end of the year.
Yeah, depending on what kind of weather we have this year, but the building may not be done by the end of this year. But the interior and the equipment, we can get that done in like,
Yeah, the equipment's.
yeah, we can get that done in about 45 days, so,
Well, good luck.
thank you, appreciate it, I appreciate that.
All right, moving on. Items not on the agenda. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up for future discussion?
Yeah, I want to make a motion to wish Bruce happy anniversary today.
Yes, happy anniversary,
Happy anniversary.
Bruce.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
So this meeting was so important, I postponed my 40-year anniversary dinner till tomorrow night.
What
Well,
a
thank you.
commitment.
Is that a committed guy or what?
That is a
Committed to us.
Okay,
Thank you, Richie.
thank you. All right, next planning commission meeting would be October 6th. Okay? With that,
6:30?
6:30.
6:30.
Oh, you guys got that going?
Are we
Yep.
gonna move
I,
it to a
yeah,
different time?
6:30, yeah.
and I called earlier because I thought, struck me I was having dinner. Oh, my gosh.
Not
I was out
October.
last meeting. Did they change it? Am I going to come here at 7 o'clock and be
Yeah.
done?
Not until October are we changing
October
it.
it starts.
Yeah.
That's what Corey told me. Okay, thank you. All right, then let's get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's moved, seconded. We're adjourned. Thank you all very
There you
much.
go.
Thank you.